On the 2nd of December at MRS Fall, Boston, IOP Publishing held a reception to celebrate the anniversaries of 3 of its journals. The first anniversary of Materials Research Express, the 15th anniversary of Science and Technology of Advanced Materials, and the 25th anniversary of the journal Nanotechnology, which was actually the first journal to be launched in the scale of nanoscale science and technology in the world. There were a number of researchers from academia and industry at the reception, and we asked them what they felt had been some of the key developments in materials science and nanotechnology research, and how these journals had contributed.
First of all, it's very hard for me to imagine that IOP journal Nanotechnology has been around 25 years. So think about it. I want everyone to think about it. This journal was there even before nano became a buzzword, okay? And so it has been there right from the beginning. And in that sense, it has pretty much captured essentially the complete evolution of nanotechnology from nothing to where it is today. Whether it was all the excitement about carbon nanotubes and the excitement about graphene and 2D materials, applications, from sensors to electronics to piezoelectrics and thermoelectrics. So you name it, anything in nano has been there in this journal. So because 25 years is an awful long time.
Nanotechnology. A lot of things happened in the nanotechnology over the last years, and I think there have been major breakthroughs in material science which enable us now to make very thin lighting sources which can be found back in OLED lighting, but also for all kind of flexible applications where we are working on flexible solar cells, and also this will enable us to make flexible displays over the next years.
And I have actually published in nanotechnology for the last 15 years. And I remember as a graduate student, I actually published my first paper in nanotechnology. And the journal has been nothing but outstanding in terms of publishing high quality research. In fact, I remember papers from Richard Smalley's group in nanotechnology in early in 1999 to 2000. And over the years, nanotechnology has actually gone on to publish some of the most exciting papers which have actually seen in terms of transistors, electronic devices, optical devices, biological devices, as well as mathematical modeling in the area of nanoscience and nanotechnology. What I would like to see in the future is actually integrated nanosystems, how nanotechnology comes together in order to make smart systems for future applications. This is an area that we should all invest in the future of how nanotechnology has sensors and actuators all come together to perform function which could actually be useful for engineering applications.
We make instrumentation for materials analysis. So the challenge for us is to keep on moving the instrumentation so that it provides new information for researchers. As the characteristics of the material change, either the thickness of the material, the electrical characterization of the material, then so do the characterization tools. So that's a challenge. We build instrumentations and we make probably between 30 and 40 systems a year, which are bespoke systems for different customers around the world. And in 2013, there were 60 publications using our instruments by clients. So we scan the publications, we look for keywords, we identify the targets that people want from the publication titles, and then our challenge is to tell other scientists what our tools will give, and also how to adapt them so that they're the tools that people want to buy in future years.
One thing that I've seen in the 25 years, both in the field and in the journal Nanotechnology, is in the beginning it was all basic science. And, people were just wondering what the properties of some of these materials are and characterizing them and mostly doing theoretical work. But what has evolved in the last 5 and even a decade, in the last decade, is a tremendous shift towards useful applications of these nanomaterials. That is evidenced by a lot of startup companies and even big companies getting into nano-based products. So that shift is the biggest thing that I have seen. For a lot of other people, it may be a lot of other things. But pardon me, I'm an engineer, so I just want to see science maturing into engineering and technology and eventually becoming a widget or something that you can hold in your hand or you can buy. And that progress has been happening. So that is the biggest shift that I've seen in the field. And that also has been reflected in the journal itself. When you see the kind of articles that we publish, there are a lot of application-oriented articles in the journal too. So that's the biggest thing that I've seen in the evolution over the 25 years.
And we work on nanotechnology, and we've been doing this research for more than 20 years or so. And we've been working on quantum wells, and then moved to quantum dots, and then nowadays we work on nanowires. And mostly our focus has been using nanostructures for making optoelectronic devices, like quantum dot lasers, quantum dot infrared detectors, quantum dot photonic integrated circuits, and then most recently we've been working on quantum dot solar cells and plasmonic solar cells. And in the area of nanowires, we recently made nanowire lasers. These are some of the smallest lasers in the world. And then also we've been working on nanowire solar cells, nanowire terahertz detectors. So really this is an exciting field currently. Nanotechnology is a technology of the future which is going to have a major impact on all industry sectors. That's why we feel quite excited about really contributing and working in the field of nanotechnology. In the area of nanotechnology, not only we are excited about doing excellent research, also training of young researchers is very, very important for me. And then really, I'm very fortunate that I had wonderful students, and really seeing them starting as rough diamonds and then finishing off as polished diamonds to be able to go to the marketplace is a fantastic thing. And seeing also success of my students makes it very, very satisfying for me that they're really contributing to the field much more broadly, and collectively we're able to really make a major impact.
Our center is now working about some kind of the materials in nanotechnology, and especially our new target is nanoarchitectonics. Nanoarchitectonics is some kind of the next step of the nanotechnology. We use nanotechnology, many tools of nanotechnology, and construct new materials. It's our purpose. I'm working on some kind of the materials of the self-assembly, like assembled thin film or porous materials, or application of these materials for drug delivery or some physical sensor or another energy environmental application.
In this race between lithography, which is top-down, and chemical self-assembly, which is bottom-up, lithography is still way ahead. And but in a sense, there's no reason for this, because if you look at a human being, we're self-assembled. And so this is the beauty of self-assembly. The people in the lithography camp tell us self-assembly is stochastic, it's not going to work. We work. And so there's great opportunities. When you're talking 1 order of magnitude to 6 orders of magnitude, we're talking revolutionary advances should be possible. And so this involves chemical self-assembly, involves bio-inspired materials, and so the field of nanotechnology, I believe, will be moving in that direction in the future.
In material science, STAM has now become a prominent and major materials research journal for material sciences all over the world.
This journal bridge the material science and nanotechnology. And now I feel during this 15 years, material science adopt many technology from nanotechnology. Now these two fields, I feel these two fields is merging very well. I think as a 50th anniversary, I feel such a good growth between two disciplines of the science, nanotechnology and material science.
Well, MRX is actually a new kid on the block. It's compared to nanotechnology, the journal, MRX is just a baby. It's just 1 year old, and but even though it's only 1 year old, this journal doesn't seem to have any teething problems or growing pains or anything, because this baby is off to a great start. It's got a good reception from the materials science community, materials engineering community as well. Unlike nanotechnology or any other journal in the IOP portfolio, this material portfolio is very broad. Okay, we're not just talking about nanomaterials. We're not just talking about biomaterials. We are talking about every kind of material literally humans use to make anything, and we cover them all. So in that sense, it's a very broad focus. The other thing is, even though we call it Material Research Express, and then our submission to publication is just a couple of months, that doesn't mean we are publishing letter type articles. We are not restricting it to 3 pages. We publish full-length articles, 7 pages, 8 pages, no limit at all. So that's another unique feature in addition to the rapid turnaround. So I'm not surprised that the community is giving a very warm reception to this journal. So I'm really looking forward to seeing this journal grow.
So my name's Tim Smith. I'm a publishing manager at IOP Publishing, and as part of that role, I'm responsible for the development of our new IOP Materials portfolio of journals. A portfolio that includes 18 titles, as well as our ebooks program and community websites such as Nanotech Web. And for us, the IOP Materials portfolio is a really exciting time, because we're increasingly seeing how physics is playing a really important role in the development of material science. And I guess the other thing we notice is how multidisciplinary material science has now become. It now brings together physicists, chemists, biologists, engineers. And I think that's sort of, there's real synergy there between the 3 journals that we've been celebrating at this year's MRS Fall meeting in the anniversaries. And the newest of those, Materials Research Express, is a journal that really is aimed at serving all material scientists all over the world. It publishes on any class of material, whether it's on the applications, the modelling, the synthesis, the fundamental properties. And we've already seen a really great response to that from the community. The number of submissions within the first year is very, very high, and that tells us that there are very exciting times ahead for that, and we really look forward to seeing that capture some of the really new and emerging areas of material science. These are touching on things like biomaterials, 2D materials, including graphene and the next generation of those materials, applications of material science to energy.